Just want to get out of that. Got all that to where that mark is. I want to shortchange myself. Let's do something like that. You want me to explain what I'm doing here? Turn the wind. Okay, I'm gonna cut this piece out. It's just got a little bit of rust right here. The bottom of it and everything else is solid. So I'm gonna cut this, I took a full rocker and just cut the piece out that I need, which is basically gonna lay right there, like that. What I'm gonna do is, I'm gonna come in here, I'm gonna cut this out. Put my tape line and I'm gonna mark on here where I'm gonna cut it. So I'm marked so you know which side to cut on. When I get that cut out, and get these here ground off so where the spot welds are. I'll get that out of the way. I'll show you how I'm going to grind the spot welds off once I get this cut out. And then I'm going to slip this in behind that, like that. And then I'm just going to tack this piece back into place. And then you've only got a feel from here to here, but I'll show you what I'm going to do once I get that to that point. But you can see where I'm going to cut out. I'm going to get all this cut out and get this ledge so I can put this ledge back. So let me get this cut out and then we'll come back. Okay, once I got that piece off, I've noticed I've got a little bit of rust right in here. I kind of fatigued it a little bit. This is where I knocked holes in it with trying to take the 2 spot welds away. So this is no problem. We can weld that up. Over here, we've got some cancer. Well, this is actually for an old 72 piece, so I never throw nothing away. I'm actually going to take this piece here, and I'm going to come up here like this, and then right around here, and then this drop off right here is actually going to be down in that drop off right there. So what I'm going to do is cut it right across here, and then down through here, and then across there, and then that piece is going to lay on there, and I'll have to shape it to match that. And then when I get that welded in, I can cap it with that piece like was our original plan to start with. It's going to give the weather strip ledge back and then fix this rust that was there. Now it's been cut out. So let me get this piece cut out, and we'll kind of test fit that, and we never really know what direction we're going to go until we just cut it, and then we go from there. I left my pen. There it is. hold that down. Get a big clamp. Okay, we got our piece all spot welded in now. Got it all welded up, welded like that right there. This is where I knocked the holes in it, trying to knock the spot welds off. So we'll just weld those up and grind them smooth. And then once we get this kind of dressed up a little bit, we'll be able to take that guy off there now. We'll actually be able to stick this guy up underneath behind that and make this lip back together again. Then we'll spot weld that to the new piece we just welded in there, and then we've got a good tight fix. And when our carpet goes in, all that'll all be hidden underneath the carpet, and actually the seal plate comes all the way out to there. So once that's all done and we got it POR 15 to keep the rust, completely kill out what rust might be there, that's it. And sometimes I'll actually use like some green, they call it that kitty hair, and I'll go over this just to kind of water seal it so water can't get underneath there. It just kind of depends on, you know, when I'm done, if it looks like it needs it. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't, but I always POR 15, even surface rust, just to stop it in its tracks. So, well, once we get kind of doing all that, we'll POR 15 the entire floor and all of this before we go touching it all back up again. Okay, I got the piece trial fitted where it fits underneath the piece here. It's going to slip up underneath this piece right here, and it's going to basically be level with this piece back here pretty much when we're done. What I've done here is I've marked my holes. I'm going to drill these holes out, and when I go to put this guy back, I'm going to stitch. I'll show you. We're going to spot weld it. I mean this section, and then when it's going to be under here, we're going to weld from this down onto that and make that all smooth all the way across. So whenever we are able to body work this right in here, we'll just come straight off of this guy right onto that, and you'll never know that was ever replaced. Grinding these so they'll lay flat, because I drilled the holes to plug weld, so that's why it'll lay flat against that panel. I was looking at this and I was kind of cutting it, and I don't really ever measure, so I just kind of cut everything I do. And my wife's actually doing the filming, and she says, "Hey, how do you do that without really even thinking about it?" And it just kind of made me think of a Bible verse. It says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." So I guess that's pretty much what I rely on. Okay, I drilled me some little 1/8" holes in here, and what I'm going to do is use some 1/2" sheet metal screws, and when I slip this guy back up behind there, I'm going to run these screws through that, into that, and pull this guy up tight with the bottom of that, so it'll be easier to weld without having to have a gap there. This will actually pull that gap up there. I'll get these put in there, and then I'll show you what that looks like. Alright, what I'm going to do now, I got to move this thing back just a tickle. I'm going to put that flush right there. See where I've got my holes drilled in here for the deal. I want to move this back to where it's flush with that. And then I'm going to put me some duckbill pliers. I'm going to kind of move this guy back first. Let's see. Move it back even as close to that one as we can. We can weld the gap, but it's better if we don't have to. So let's just, there we go. There, that pulled him back. Okay, so now we're going to grab that one at the pinch weld up there, pinch all that together like that. Okay, all right, and we're going to pinch this one together. When we pinched it, it moved us backwards forward a little bit. That's better. See, we've got about 1/8 inch, which that's fine. We can fix that. And we're going to grab this one on its little pinch. We're going to get those together and pinch that one. You see how it pulled all that together. So now we've got our gap here where our rubber's going to clip onto that. We're going to tack weld in through there. We're going to use our screws. Let's go ahead and grab those. Should be able to use a 1/2" one. Sometimes I have to use longer, but I think with what we're doing here, we'll be okay with these because they're pretty much right there. So let's try it. We're going to pull that. See how it sucks up there? Now I'm perfectly level with that. Got that right up against that. And we just have to weld that gap up right there. We'll pull that together. We'll come over here and we'll drill that one. And what we'll do is we'll come through here and we'll push that down until those actually hit. See, they're almost on the base. Those are right there. Those are right at it. So we'll just have to push this guy down so we can plug weld those, and then we'll stitch weld this crossed here, and up here we'll stitch weld that guy. Pull all that together. Now what I'm doing is just making sure that I've got room back behind here for my rubber to go. And I'm just kind of holding that in place and going through that hole there with my 1/2" screw. See how I pulled it right up, pulled all that together, and when that came up, that went down. See, now we're almost flush where our plug weld, and we're going to weld to this right here. And we'll have a real smooth transition. Some guys will actually butt this up, and I mean weld it, spend hours and hours and hours, and I could do that, and I've done it before. But starting out, you know, what I'm trying to do is show guys that really haven't done this their whole life and just want to get the truck back on the road. Guys, this is the easiest way to do it. And you know, you can even go back in there and put the weld through prime on the back side, and I mean, get all ridiculous with it. But I'm telling you, I've done trucks like this, and we've owned the trucks for 30 years, and they still look just like they were done the day where they were done. It's not come back through. The truck, a repair like this is going to outlive most of us. So honestly, at the end of the day, when you're out with your arm around your girl and you're going to a cruise and you're going to have a good time, do you really care if you spent 5 to 6 hours getting this just perfect, when this right here will do, and it's half the time or even faster than that? All right, guys, I got this thing all screwed on here. I've got everything flush. I'm going to push that up when I get ready to tack weld it. So we're basically ready to tack weld now. And I made a comment a while ago about you guys driving and having your arm around your girl. But I know there's a lot of girls out there that are building these things too. So girls, for y'all, if you're out driving and you got your hand or arm around your feller, then a repair like this is going to be all right, and you're going to be on the road a whole lot faster. All right, we got it all kind of ready to go here, and now I'm going to weld her up. So I'm going to put some tack welds on it, and then I'll go back and finish it up. Okay, we got the rocker panel welded on. Now what we're going to do is we're going to use some reinforced filler by Evercoat, part number 105009. Okay, and what this is going to do is actually seal out any water that might could possibly get in there, and it's just going to give you a good little filler in between to just kind of give it a good strength. I'll tell you how good this stuff is. Back in the day before I knew how to weld, and I've actually seen repairs years later still holding up really good. I would actually pop rivet my welds together. Instead of using weld, I'd use pop rivets. I'd grind the heads down, and I'd actually use this stuff to go over the top of them, and that's how tough this stuff is. I never had any of those ever break loose or come loose. So now that I can weld, and I can weld all these guys solid all the way across the bottom, basically there's just a little tiny gap. I mean, it's niner. It's like a sheet of paper in between there. What I'll do is bring that green all the way out to the edge here, go across there, and then all I gotta do is take my block and just block across that, and it'll take nothing to fill all that in. And if there's any little spots for water, this stuff is just like putting a boat right over the top of it. It'll never, never, never be a problem. Okay, we're gonna wrap the video up right there. As we go along and we start doing the body work and stuff, you'll actually see us fix this like I was explaining a while ago. So just follow along, like, share, and subscribe. We're gonna put part 1, part 2, so you'll know what part to go back and look at. And so just stay tuned and watch for the videos that come out. And guys, we'll see you on the next one. Take care and God bless you.